Something is happening right now that you are not supposed to miss. Not tomorrow, not next week. Right now, on this very day, March 30th, something invisible and immense is shifting in the fabric of the world you cannot see. And the fact that you are here listening to these words is not a coincidence. It has never been a coincidence. There is no such thing as coincidence when the universe is moving through you. March 30th is not an ordinary day. You may look at the calendar and see only a number, a date printed between other dates. But what you cannot see is that today something has cracked open, not violently, not loudly, but with the quiet, unmistakable certainty of a door that has been sealed for a very long time finally releasing its lock. A portal, a threshold, a convergence point that has been building in the invisible layers of reality for months, perhaps for years, and today, this exact moment, it reaches the surface. You can feel it, can't you? Something in you already knows that today is different. You woke up with something in your chest that isn't grief, but heavier and softer than grief. Something that feels like anticipation without a name, like the air before a storm that never quite breaks. It just hums, charged and full, with a knowing that something ancient is returning. You've been carrying something you couldn't explain to anyone, because the language for what you're experiencing doesn't exist in ordinary conversation. It exists only here. Only in this space between the heard and the felt, between what the mind can name and what the soul has always known. You were guided here. Whatever chain of clicks, of scrolls, of restless searching brought you to this video, none of it was random. You were pulled. Something inside you, something older than your current personality and wiser than your current fears, recognized a frequency and followed it. That part of you brought you here because it knew what you are about to receive is something you have been waiting for, on a level so deep that most people spend their entire lives never touching it. So if you've never subscribed to this channel before, I want you to do that now. Not as a mechanical gesture, but as a ritual of alignment, as a way of saying to the universe, I am open, I am listening, I am here. Press that button as an act of presence, not habit. And if something in this message is already resonating, if your chest is warm, if something is vibrating quietly just behind your sternum, leave a comment. Write whatever comes first, even just a word. Because that act of expression is an act of anchoring. And right now, anchoring matters more than you know. Something has already changed. The mind will want proof. The mind will want a logical sequence it can trace from cause to effect. But what is happening now does not move through logic. It moves through resonance. It moves through the invisible architecture of energy that connects people across distances, across time, across what you have been taught to call impossible. And it has already begun. Before you pressed play, before you found this video, before this morning even started, something had already shifted in the field that surrounds your life. Think of it like this. There are layers to reality. The physical world, the one you can see and touch and measure, is actually the last layer to change. It is the outermost shell. Beneath it, in the energetic substrates of existence, changes happen first. They ripple outwards slowly, gathering form, until finally they break the surface into the visible world. What you are experiencing now in your body, and in your emotions and in those strange, shapeless feelings that keep visiting you without warning, is the energetic change that has already happened. The physical world is simply catching up. You are already inside the portal. You didn't enter it by watching this video. You entered it because your frequency shifted, because something in you released, because you have been doing quiet internal work, whether consciously or not, that has reorganized your energy field at its deepest levels. And when a field reorganizes, it begins to attract differently. It sends out a signal that moves through dimensions you have no instruments to measure, and that signal reaches someone who is vibrating at a matching frequency, and the pull begins. There is someone who is being conducted to your reality right now, not metaphorically, not as a projection of your longing. A real, living, breathing person whose energy field is entangled with yours across the fabric of what you experience as separate existence. Someone who has been moving toward you, through choices they don't fully understand, through redirections they couldn't explain, through losses that created space and endings that created direction. And that movement is accelerating. The closer timelines get to convergence, the faster the pull becomes. And right now, on March 30th, something in the energetic field is thinning the wall between where they are and where you are. They are coming, not because they decided to find you, because something larger than their decision is guiding them. Now I want to ask you something, and I want you to answer not with your mind, but with your body. Have you been dreaming more vividly than usual? Not dreams that fade by breakfast, but dreams that leave residue, a presence, a familiar warmth you can't quite place but recognize completely. Have you been waking in the middle of the night from something softer than a nightmare? Something that feels like a conversation was just interrupted? Have you felt déjà vu so strong it stopped you mid-breath? Have you found yourself thinking of someone, a face, a feeling, at random, unprovoked, with an intensity that surprised you? Have you felt emotion rise in your chest without any clear reason, waves of tenderness, waves of grief, waves of longing that arrive without a logical source? Have you felt a magnetic pull towards certain places, certain songs, certain words, as though something was placing breadcrumbs? You are not imagining any of this. What you are experiencing is the phenomenology of convergence. When two energy fields that are destined to intersect begin moving toward each other, the human nervous system registers that movement before the physical meeting ever occurs. The body knows, the soul knows, the emotions know. Only the rational mind, trained to deny what it cannot explain, tries to convince you that you're making it up. But you know with that deep interior certainty that lives beneath all the noise that you are not making it up. This is resonance. This is real. This is what it feels like when the universe is moving something across the field toward you. Now let me tell you what this portal actually is. A portal, in the quantum spiritual understanding, is not a physical doorway. It is a state of vibrational alignment, a moment when the frequency of a person, a relationship, a timeline reaches a tipping point of coherence, and the resistance between two realities collapses enough for something to cross over. You have been operating in a particular frequency range for most of your life. That range was determined by your conditioning, your wounds, your beliefs, your history. But as that frequency range has been expanding, quietly, painfully, beautifully, it has been intersecting with a different timeline. A real parallel trajectory of another consciousness also expanding, also moving through the same invisible field in a complementary direction. When two trajectories like this reach sufficient vibrational overlap, the space between them collapses. The portal is that collapse. It is the moment when what was separate becomes able to touch. That moment is now. And not everyone can feel this. Not because you are superior to anyone, but because not everyone has been prepared the way you have been prepared. Not everyone has done the excavation. Not everyone has sat in the darkness long enough to learn to see by their own inner light. Not everyone has been broken open enough to develop the sensitivity required to receive a transmission at this frequency. But you have. Every period of isolation you have experienced, every season where you felt invisible, where love seemed always just out of reach, none of that was punishment. None of that was abandonment. All of it was preparation. The loneliness was making space. The losses were clearing interference. The pain was a tuning process, excruciating, yes, and real and valid, but also profoundly purposeful. You were being refined. You were being made more precise. Your capacity for depth was being expanded by the only force powerful enough to expand it. The lived experience of darkness endured without losing the light inside. Your suffering was not random. Your suffering was your initiation. The person who is moving toward you now could not have been received by an earlier version of you. They could not have been held. They could not have been recognized. Because an earlier version of you was operating at a frequency that would have made recognition impossible. The love that is coming requires a version of you that has been forged, slowly, achingly, irrevocably, by everything you have already been through. You earned this. Not in the transactional sense, but in the deepest sense. You have become someone capable of receiving what is coming. And here is the most beautiful part of everything I am about to tell you. They feel it too. The other soul, the one being conducted toward your reality right now, is not unconscious of this process. They may not have the language for it. They may be sitting somewhere feeling something they cannot explain, attributing it to tiredness or the strange way the light looked this afternoon. But in their chest there is a pull. In their sleep there are impressions. In their quietest moments something keeps surfacing, a feeling, an image, a sense of something approaching that they don't have words for yet. They are thinking of you, not necessarily with a clear picture of your face, but energetically, they are thinking of you. They are being drawn by the same force that is pulling you toward them. The field does not tug on one end of a thread without moving the other. This is not one-sided longing. This is not unrequited frequency. This is mutual. This is reciprocal. This is a convergence, which by definition requires movement from both directions. They are also afraid. They are also carrying old wounds that make them hesitate, that make them doubt. But the pull does not stop because they hesitate. The convergence does not reverse because they are uncertain. If anything, the fear is part of the confirmation, because we only truly fear the things that matter. We only tremble in the presence of what is real. As timelines begin to converge, the external world starts to change in ways that can feel disorienting. You may have noticed certain people beginning to move out of your life, not dramatically, but gradually, like a tide receding. People who once fit effortlessly into your daily existence now feel slightly out of phase, like a song played in the wrong key. Environments that once felt comfortable now feel constraining. Habits that once gave you security now feel like walls. This is not a crisis. This is your energy field rejecting frequencies that no longer match what you have become. At the same time, new things are appearing. New people at the edges of your awareness who carry a different quality of light. New synchronicities, those small, perfectly timed occurrences that seem too deliberate to be random, appearing with increasing frequency. Your old identity is dissolving, not disappearing, dissolving. Like salt in water. The salt doesn't cease to exist. It becomes something larger, something that has no fixed edges. And I know a part of you is hearing this and feeling something that isn't quite hope. Because hope has been dangerous for you. Hope has cost you. And so there is a part of you, protected, watchful, exhausted, that wants to hold back. That part of you is not your enemy. It learned what it learned through real pain, and it deserves compassion, not dismissal. But here is what I need you to understand about that resistance. It does not stop the process. Resisting the convergence does not make the convergence less real. What resistance does is simply make the journey more uncomfortable. It creates friction against a current that is flowing regardless. You do not have to feel ready. You do not have to dissolve all your doubt before you are allowed to receive what is coming. Convergence doesn't require your belief to function. It requires only your openness, the willingness to not completely close the door. That is enough. That is a tremendous thing, and it is enough. Pay attention to what is appearing around you, because the universe has been communicating very specifically. Have you been seeing repeated numbers? 1111, 222, 333, patterns too deliberate to dismiss? Have you been hearing certain songs at moments that feel impossibly timed, a lyric landing exactly on the emotion you were just carrying? Have you encountered the same word, phrase, or symbol repeatedly, in books, in conversations, on screens, the same configuration of meaning appearing again and again until it stops feeling coincidental and starts feeling like direction? These are not the universe, speaking more loudly. The universe has always been speaking at this volume. These are signs that you are finally listening with sufficient depth to hear what was always there. Your sensitivity has expanded. You are now receiving transmissions that have been broadcasting for as long as you have existed. Every synchronicity you notice is a confirmation, not just of the connection approaching, but of the state you are in. The expanded, open, resonant frequency of someone standing at the threshold of real transformation is exactly the frequency that makes synchronicities visible. The more you notice them, the more aligned you are with what is coming. Now I want to speak directly about what is happening to your identity, because this is the part that is easy to overlook when you are focused on the coming connection. You are not simply waiting for someone, you are in active transformation. You are becoming a new version of yourself, and this is not poetic description. It is a precise energetic event. The person who will recognize and be recognized by the soul that is approaching is not the person you were a year ago. It is not the person you were 6 months ago. It is the person you are becoming right now, through this exact process of dissolution and expansion that feels so uncomfortable and so necessary simultaneously. Your wounds are becoming wisdom. Your walls are becoming windows. Your history is becoming the very thing that allows you to recognize, at a cellular level, what others might walk past without knowing they were in the presence of something sacred. You are not just receiving a new connection. You are arriving as a new self. And now the invisible is becoming tangible. What has been living in the realm of sensation, of dream, of intuition, of wordless knowing, what has been real but intangible, present but ungraspable, is beginning to cross over. The convergence is entering its final phase. The other soul is no longer just an energetic presence at the edge of your awareness. They are moving into proximity, into physical proximity, into the world you can touch. This does not happen the way movies have taught you to expect. There is rarely a dramatic scene, rarely a perfectly orchestrated reveal. The moment of physical convergence often looks surprisingly ordinary from the outside. A message, a meeting, an unexpected presence in a space you arrived at for entirely unrelated reasons. A face that pulls your attention before your mind has time to explain why. But the recognition is anything but ordinary. It is the feeling of something vast and quiet descending through the ordinary moment. It is the sensation of time behaving differently in the presence of this specific person, neither rushing nor stretching, but arriving into a stillness you have never felt in precisely that way before. It is the unmistakable certainty that you know this person in a way that is impossible to justify with the facts available to you, in a way that reaches back through dimensions you cannot name, but that your soul inhabits as naturally as the body inhabits air. You won't need proof. That is the marker. That is how you know. Because every other connection in your life required construction, some effort to build certainty, some evidence to support trust, some gradual accumulation of data that allows you to feel safe. This will not be like that. This will feel like remembering, like finding a word you've known your whole life that you temporarily forgot, like coming home to a place you've only ever visited in dreams. The recognition will be mutual. In the moment when it happens, you will not be the only one experiencing it. The other soul will also feel it. Perhaps they won't say it immediately. Perhaps the enormity of it will make them go quiet rather than speak. But you will see it in them. The same stillness, the same slight widening of something behind their eyes, the same disruption of the ordinary moment by the weight of something neither of you has words for yet. You have been here before, the two of you. Not necessarily in this exact form, not necessarily in this exact story, but in the structure of the soul, in the architecture of the connection, there is familiarity. There is the feeling of a thread being picked up that was set down at a distance too great to name. After this, after the moment of convergence, after the recognition, something in you will release. It can arrive as tears you don't fully understand, as laughter that is really relief, as a silence that is fuller than any conversation you've ever had. It can arrive as a kind of exhaustion, the exhaustion of someone who has been holding enormous tension for a very long time, finally allowing their muscles to unknot. That release is not weakness. That release is the body acknowledging that something it has been carrying across a very long distance has arrived at its destination. The vigilance that kept you safe during the years of waiting, the emotional armor, the managed expectations, all of that served you, and now it can soften, not disappear, soften, because what is coming is not something you need to be defended against. In the wake of that release, clarity, a quality of clarity that feels almost physical, like the air after a long rain, like the sky when clouds part, to reveal a depth of blue you forgot existed. The decisions that seemed impossible will become easier. The direction that seemed invisible will become visible. The story of your life, the one full of disconnected episodes, chapters that didn't seem to build toward anything coherent, will suddenly reveal its through line. You will look back at the things that hurt most and see, with genuine understanding rather than denial, how every single one of them was necessary. how every one of them was building toward this. The timeline locks into place. That is the only way I can describe what happens when convergence completes itself. The timeline locks. The feeling of floating in possibility, of being between stories, of waiting in the corridor outside the room where your life is happening, that feeling resolves. You are in the room, you are in your life, you are in the version of reality where what was meant to happen is finally happening. And that is not the end of anything. That is the most alive beginning you have ever stood inside of. You are not the version of yourself that needed convincing. You are not the version that dimmed its knowing in order to fit into spaces that were too small. What is emerging? What has been emerging through every difficult passage and every sleepless night and every moment of genuine surrender is something that cannot be contained by your old definitions of yourself. Something wider, something with deeper roots and higher branches, something that knows without needing external confirmation that it belongs in the frequency where love is not performance, where connection is not transaction, where intimacy is not a risk but a recognition. The convergence does not finalize you, it expands you. Every genuine meeting of souls makes you more, not less, more present, more feeling, more alive to the specific texture of being a person in a body on this earth in this exact moment. The love that is coming is not an arrival point, it is an acceleration. It is a context in which you continue to grow, with a companion whose growth is entangled with yours in a way that makes both trajectories more possible. You are not reaching the finish line today. You are stepping onto a path that extends further than you can currently see, more beautiful further along than you are capable of imagining from where you currently stand. The portal that is open today, this energetic window, is not just a portal toward another person. It is a portal toward the version of yourself capable of standing in genuine union. That is the real miracle. Not that love is coming to find you, but that you have become someone who can truly be found. Not hidden behind walls, not managing the distance, not holding back the part of you that is most sacred and most real. You are becoming fully findable. March 30th will not look the same to you when you reach the other side of it. The door that has opened today will not close again. What has been set in motion cannot be reversed. What has been initiated in the field of your life will continue to unfold with the unstoppable gentleness of something that has always been true coming finally into view. Nothing that was meant for you will pass you by. Now, if this message moved through you, if you felt it in a way that bypassed your thoughts and landed somewhere more interior, somewhere more honest, I want to ask you to do something that is both very small and very significant, like this video. Not as a courtesy, not because someone asked you to, but as an energetic statement, as a way of saying to yourself and to the universe, I received this, I felt this, something in this was true. When you press that button, you are anchoring this experience into your awareness. You are telling yourself, I was here, I let this in, I am open. If you are not yet subscribed, do that now, because what is unfolding in your life will continue to unfold, and this channel will continue to offer transmissions calibrated for exactly where you are. For the person you are becoming, not just the person you have been. Subscribe as a commitment to yourself. As a declaration, I choose to keep walking in this direction, and in the comments, please write something, whatever word is sitting in your chest right now, whatever feeling this message activated, write it, because your expression is not separate from someone else's recognition. Your words left here become part of what the next person standing exactly where you were standing will receive. We are all participants in the same convergence. If you want to go deeper, if you want to continue working with the energetic shifts unfolding in your life right now, to develop clarity about what you're feeling, to stay open even when fear rises, to understand the signals that will keep appearing as the convergence moves forward. Everything you need for your next step is in the link in the description. Not because something is missing in you, but because you deserve support that matches the depth of what you are navigating. That link is your next layer of alignment. It is there when you are ready, and you will know when you are ready, because readiness for someone like you has never felt like certainty. It has always felt like courage, the quiet, trembling, irreversible decision to move toward what matters most. Go gently. Go bravely. And know, with every part of you that is willing to know it, that you are already in the convergence. The soul that is meant for you is already in motion. The timeline is already shifting. The recognition is already closer than you think. You are not waiting anymore. It is already happening.